Hello everyone! So this series is a program aiming to teach you how to become proficient in brush pen calligraphy and handwriting. This series is for those who want to master their handwriting, while the other series I have posted is for those with some existing knowledge looking to become more creative and find more styles and techniques in their writing. This first video will be an introduction to the brush pen and how to properly use and care for it. This is a Tombow black brush pen. On one end we have a felt tip nib, which can be used for single width lettering, small lettering, outlines, that sort of thing. And on the other end is the actual brush pen. It's flexible, made out of fabric, and soaked with the black ink from the cartridge, so you can get various widths of letters from this specific end. To begin writing with your brush pen, you want to use copy paper, printer paper, a very smooth paper so that you don't damage the nib of your pen. In order to start using this pen, try just making various widths of strokes. To make very thin strokes, you want to use very little pressure with the pen on the paper. To make thicker strokes, you're going to apply more pressure. You don't want to apply so much pressure that you're breaking the nib of the pen, but you want to apply enough so that you're getting the side of the pen to get a wider stroke. You can start as I did by doing various up and down strokes. The down strokes are always the thicker strokes. Whether you're doing wavy lines or circles, that sort of thing, it's all good practice. Another thing I'm doing to practice is writing the thinnest stroke, the thinnest line I can, to the thickest line that I can, to see how much pressure I need to use to make how wide of a stroke. When doing the thinnest lines, you want to use the very tip of the brush. However, when you want to do thicker lines, it's good to sort of angle the brush so that you're using the side of it so you can get the thickest line that you want. The Tombow brand is one of the best stationery brands in the world, especially for brush pens. It's a Japanese-based brand, which makes sense because the style of handwriting originated in China, and this type of pen was invented in Japan. They can be pricey, but the quality of the pens is worth every penny. Another brand I recommend is Kuretake, which releases the Fudonosuke pen and cartridge ink brush. This pen right here is by a brand called Pentel. They also release a wide variety of brush pens, and this one is very similar to the Kuretake Fudonosuke pen. Another easy way to practice this type of handwriting is to use a pencil. By applying more pressure, you can get a darker and thicker line, so this way you can practice this type of handwriting, get used to applying more pressure on the downstrokes and less on the upstrokes to emulate the same type of handwriting you'd get with the brush pen. The brush pen also comes with these lettering practice worksheets, also by Tombow, which lets you practice having heavier downstrokes, lighter upstrokes, and doing various patterns to perfect your handwriting. This first line is for practicing your thicker downstrokes, so you want to use the side of the brush and have a heavier hand when going down the line. The second line is for practicing your thin upstrokes, so you'll want to hold the brush a bit higher than you normally would, rather than sort of angled like you would with the downstrokes. I start doing this by going down just to get used to applying lighter pressure. I recommend this if you have difficulty lifting the brush and applying less pressure on your upstrokes, and then moving on to practicing your upstrokes the same way. Also keep in mind that some of these sections are sped up, like right here. I am going slower than this, I just sped it up for the sake of the video. And here's where we start practicing transitioning from the light upstrokes to the thick downstrokes. So this is just a zigzag line. You'll want to pause at the top once you've done your thin upstroke, and then press down, apply a little bit more pressure to get the downstroke, release the pressure and go back up, etc., etc. The next line is essentially the same as a zigzag, but instead it's more rounded, similar to the letter U or N, something like that. The last line is a bit more challenging. It is an O, a circle, where you're going to have the left side, your downstroke. You want to start at the very top, the center top, and then have your downstroke on the left side, and then release the pressure and go back up to the top. I'd recommend taking this very slowly the first couple times you do it, so that you make sure that your transition and the repeat area is seamless. Another thing you'll see me doing regularly with these is filling out some areas where the lines don't connect perfectly, and this is absolutely fine. You're not going to get perfect lines all the time. Right here I just fixed it because my line was a little unsteady, that's all. And now you've completed the first video, so you've learned how to care for your brush, how to use your brush pen, and various strokes that you'll need once you actually start lettering. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.